Welcome everybody back to my channel. This is Ilona Madison with Spiritual Giant, and I'm coming to you for a weekly energy reading. There's been a lot of really interesting energy things happening. We just had this major storm, hurricane off the East Coast, which is came ashore not far from where I live on the Outer Banks, and it was really exciting to see the collective energy come together and bring that storm from a category 4 or 5 down to a 1. So that was great, even though it did still make some quite devastating landfall. It wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. So anyway, I'm going to get into the reading, and there's so much moving right now and a lot of things shifting. If you'd like to have your own reading, you can see all of the details and how to contact me in the different types of readings or whatever questions you have down below in the description box. Anyway, hopefully you'll reach out and let me know how I can be of service to you. So we're going to start today with the situation card, and 2 cards actually came out, and one of them, of course, is the Major Arcana. This is generally called the Moon card in the traditional tarot, but in this particular deck, this is John Holland's Psychic Tarot. This is called Shadow, and this is also the base chakra, which is where we are grounded and rooted, our first chakra. This is the chakra of safety and security, home, and finances. So what the situation is that we are really, at this time, a huge part of the collective is really being called to do your shadow work, to face your shadow side. Of course, you can't have light without dark. So, you've got this shadow side of things, which is fine. I mean, it's part of the process, but we've got to address these things. We've got to look at where we are rooted. What are our beliefs rooted in? Are they rooted in fear, or are they rooted in love? And that's really the situation right now, is we're really being called to get to the core, to get to the root of our belief systems, to get to root of our programming, to get to the root of the templates that we are running in our thought processes and in our ego brains, in our ego minds. And so that's really what the situation is right now. And what's interesting, I love when these cards come out in perfect alignment. The action card is the 7 of Swords. And as you can see in this particular deck, the visual is, there's this gentleman wearing a mask. And so it says deception and envy. And, what it's really calling for in the action space is it's time to take off the mask. It's time to understand, who we really are. And that's, really what are our beliefs rooted in? Are we rooted in fear? Are we rooted in the 3D? Or are we rooted in love? Okay, are we rooted in our spirit selves? And so it's time to take off this ego mask and to really understand who we truly are. And that is divine beings with the power to co-create, with the power of God within us. We are all one. We are not separate. Separation is an illusion. We are all one consciousness. And we are really, as a collective, really being called to come to this awareness. So it's really time to take off the mask and understand who you are. The outcome card is the 8 of Pentacles. And while this is an Earth 3D card, I love this because, basically what the energy is suggesting at this time, and September has been slated to be a really powerful month for manifesting, for abundance, for energy shifts. And I think a lot of us are feeling it. So what we're really seeing here is if we will get to the root, look at the shadow side of things, take off the mask of our 3D selves and understanding who we truly are, then we're going to have, on the physical plane in our earthly lives, we're going to have positive movement forward. We're going to be able to have that 9. This is the 8. The 9 is material harvest in the 3D world. So if we really are truly wanting to manifest abundance and manifest prosperity and manifest happy, sound, healthy, grounded lives while we're on the physical plane, we've got to step into who we really are, co-create with Spirit, understanding where we come from, what are our beliefs rooted in, so that we can create this prosperity and this abundance for ourselves and those that we love. So that's beautiful. The overall energy for this week is, this was the bottom of the deck, is the third eye chakra. And that's no surprise because, you know, we had the first chakra, which is the situation. The situation is finding what the source, where are we rooted? What's the source of our beliefs? Working on those working on the truth, working on the shadow side, working on where those beliefs came from, where those hurts what needs to be cleared, what wounds need to be healed, and so forth. And in order to do that, you know, it's really, the theme is really calling us to step into our spiritual power, to step into our soul connection. And this is the third eye chakra, which is our intuition and our knowing. And it's really calling us to step into that knowing. You know, the next chakra is the 7, the crown chakra, which is wholeness and oneness. But the theme right now is to step into the knowing of who we are, so that the next step will be that wholeness and that oneness. But right now it's really about connecting to your inner being, connecting to your intuition, and understanding that you do have that power, you do have the foresight, you do have that ability to know what your spirit team, what your guidance team, what your soul self is trying to guide you to. The internal energy that we have this week is rest and rejuvenation. I like this because it's the perfect example of what we need to do. This is a picture of a gentleman meditating. And so I love that because it's really about connecting. You know, we got the action card, which is 7, which is removing the mask. What's the best way to remove the mask? Is to go within. It's to get some rest, to do some contemplation, to rejuvenate by sitting in silence, by meditating, by, you know, repeating the sound of God, by listening to binaural beats and getting that sound therapy. But it's really about going within and doing that rejuvenation work. The external energy, which of course again is perfect, is the community card. And this is a number 7, which is a spiritual number. And so what this is saying and suggesting is that you do have a spiritual community that is willing and ready and able, and that community is literally growing by the numbers every day. There's a big, huge part of this collective moving towards this ascension. You are not alone in this quest. Reach out to your community. Follow Facebook pages that talk about ascension. Follow YouTube pages. Listen to the guided meditations. Find the community. Find someone who's a little bit further on the path than you and ask them questions. You know, of course, if I can be of any service or any help to you, let me know. But seek out your spiritual community right now, because there's an entire demographic of people that this entire world and this industry is growing so rapidly. It's the fastest growing industry right now. And so find someone that can help you and that you can talk to along your path of ascension and growth. Okay, I pulled a healing card for this week and 2 came out. And the first one, of course, was inner child. And, you know, what I'm getting from this is really working on the solar plexus, because that is where we hold our beliefs about ourselves, our self-esteem, our willpower, our determination, you know, how we feel about ourselves internally. And so your inner child is really calling for you to, and this really comes back to the situation, which is, you know, what are your beliefs rooted in, and, you know, what needs to be highlighted, illuminated, what needs to be healed and released. And a lot of this is going to be stemming from our childhood. This can also represent our ancestral line. And so doing a past life regression, doing a soul contract clearing meditation, you know, finding out, really doing some deep work and finding out, you know, what did you learn from your parents that is not serving you in this lifetime? What limited beliefs need to be released so that this inner child can be free to play and roam and co-create as they desire? So that was interesting to see that card. And then the other card that came out is sexual arts. And, you know, what I'm really getting from this particular card is you can see there's a masculine and a feminine energy, and it's really about healing the balance between our masculine and feminine sides, and understanding that as a soul being, we have to have that that duality. We have to have that masculine and feminine, that giving, that receiving, that yin and that yang energy in order to be complete, balanced beings. And if you're finding yourself in too much action right now, your yin is very active, your yang is very active, you're in that masculine energy, then you might need to be balanced out by going into the yin, going into that feminine, going into that receiving mode. And so it's really about, being at peace and being in balance and truly complete and happy is about creating the balance between the masculine and feminine. And so it could be that there's an inner child wounding that is related to this imbalance. Maybe feeling if you're a masculine, feeling like, there was a time when you were really hurt and your feelings were suppressed because men don't cry. Or if you're a feminine, you might be feeling like, a wound from feeling like you have to get married and have kids and settle down. So find out, looking inside, what were the programs from your childhood or your ancestral line that are creating this imbalance for you right now between your masculine and feminine energies. And know that it's okay. We have both for a reason, and we're supposed to be amplifying and recognizing and living in both energies at the same time. There's a time for everything. And then the numerology card that we got for this week is patience. And, what I'm getting from this is not necessarily patience from a time perspective, because linear time is not real anyway, but it's a patience with yourself as you go through this process. And patience and understanding that, you might go in to do some inner child work, to do looking at your shadow work, and you might open up one layer only to find out that there's another layer that still needs to be healed. And so it's really about having patience and kindness with yourself as you go through this healing process, because it is going to take some time to undo past lives, ancestral programming, all of this stuff. It doesn't just instantly happen all in one setting. It is going to take a little bit of time to get through all of the work that needs to be done. It's, I'm not going to say it's a never-ending process, because I wouldn't want to think that, we were sent here to constantly be in suffering and clearing and in pain, but it is going to take some time to do some of that deep core, rooted belief clearing. And then the last card I got for you is an abundance card, and it says unlimited ideas. Your mind is one with God's infinite mind. Therefore, you have complete access to unlimited ideas guaranteed to bring blessings. All you need to do is take divinely guided action to allow these ideas to come to fruition. So once again, if you look at your internal energy and your external energy, it's understanding that not only do you have a physical community in this 3D world, but you also have a spirit community. Your angels, your guides, God, they are wanting to give you ideas. But how do you tap into them? You have to rest and rejuvenate. You have to go within. You have to find out, start clearing out all of these limiting beliefs by doing these energy sessions, by doing these energy clearings. And like I said, you can find so many free resources right on YouTube, guided meditations that will take you through, and energetically, there's Reiki online. Anything you need that will help you get into this rest and rejuvenation place, because Spirit is trying to talk to you. They're trying to guide you. And when you're living in this limitation mindset, in this limited template that you have to do it all yourself, you're missing out on being a powerful co-creator with not only the source, that the creator that creates universes, but the creator that loves you so infinitely. So I hope this was helpful in understanding where your energies are right now. Like I said, if I can do a personal reading for you, feel free to contact me. You can see my information below. And I send you lots of love and healing energy. Namaste.